Hey, Terrifics, we missed you in the break. Welcome back
Don't bust
to
up
BeTerrific,
laughing.
your live continuing official coverage of PhotoPlus Expo 2015. You are the Terrifics and you make BeTerrific special. I am so excited. We've got a very special guest on. He has never been on the show with me. We're friends. We know each other for a long time. We talk a lot of gear. We've even taken and tweeted pictures out at NAB and all sorts of other shows, but he's never been on. I've been trying to get him on because we're also trying to do something behind the scenes with this series that he's doing, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you guys soon. His name is Mike Corrado. The project is called Drummer Love, and he is a very, very accomplished photographer, but he specializes in rock photography, specifically in drum kits. And Mike is here. Of course, the wonderful Andrea Visano is joining us. She's my co-host.
Yep.
Mike.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you,
I've
Mike.
known him too long. I just like him because he's Daryl Strawberry's best friend.
Right.
We don't, well, you know, Daryl. Hey, and the Mets are in the
That's
World
right.
Series.
Yeah.
Can you
Yes,
believe
and
it?
I am covering it. I'm excited to
Oh,
be
I'm so
covering it.
How
jealous.
awesome.
The
You know-
championship series was great, and now on to the World
Can
Series.
I tell you how jealous I am? Because honestly, like, I covered Super Bowls, I've covered all sorts of stuff, I've covered the Yankees in the World Series. The Mets finally make it, and well, I'm not covering it.
That's very disappointing, considering you were there at the opening of the new City Field. I remember doing interviews.
You and I were both there, yeah.
Very
So
cool.
I don't know. I'm a little disappointed in that, but so everybody should know you also are the man at Nikon. You're the NPS guy, so Nikon Professional Services. If anybody's a Nikon Professional Services camera person, then they have to deal with you at some point, and you really work on the marketing front to make sure that they're not only taken care of, but that also they know about the latest technologies and gear.
Yeah, we're all about pro support, but
I'm a
I
Nikon
work with
NPS
a great
member.
team, and I'm responsible for pro relations and the ambassador program.
I'm
And
very proud to be an NPS member.
We're happy to have you as an NPS.
Thank you. All right, so let's talk about Drummer Love.
Sure.
You get to go basically on tour with a lot of these great bands, and you do something different. Drumming is my favorite position in the band. If I could do
Mine
anything in
too.
rock and roll, I'd be a drummer.
Sure, me too. I mean, I want to be a drummer at some point. I may be a 90-year-old drummer, but I'm going to be a
You'll
drummer
learn.
at some point. Yeah. Okay, you know, going on tour is as good as going out with them one or two times. I don't do the whole tour. Obviously, I have a life, a family, and a job that I go back to. And what happens, I got really frustrated. If you've ever photographed rock and roll from a pit, and you're trying to do something different, you want to photograph every member of the band. The drummer is always in the back. Look at the publicity photos. Where's the drummer? In the back. Look at the stage. Where's the drummer? In the back.
But it seems like nobody cares about the drummer because nobody's ever said, oh, we'd like press photographers here or there, and you only get the front man.
Which is very weird to me too, because spiritually the drummer is the heartbeat of the band. It's the tempo of the band. It's what drives us. The tempo of the drum beat drives us. When it goes fast, right, we go fast. When it slows down, we slow down. It controls our adrenaline in a way. So instead of frustrating trying to shoot through cymbal stands, pipes, and everything that's in front of the drummer from the pit, thinking the way we would see an aircraft pilot's hero shot with a super wide angle lens, I was thinking about it once. How about bringing the camera to the drum kit instead of, you know, having it back somewhere else, or walking around the stage, because people don't pay good money to come to concerts to see my fat butt on stage. They don't.
So you don't. The problem is you can't be on stage walking around. I mean, obviously you could
Most
walk
times you
up
can.
and you could lean over and take a photo. Oh,
Right.
You can, but then.
But then you're a part of the
then
show,
part
and
of
you're
the show,
interfering
yeah.
with the show, and that's just not something I want to do.
So you developed a way to have multiple cameras rigged to the drum kits.
Yes.
And be able to trigger them from off stage.
Yeah, and be able to not only shoot the show, but be more efficient by working in the pit, using a remote system, Nikon's WR1 system, to not only trip my main cameras in hand, but it would trip every other remote camera. And what started out with Nickelback and Daniel Adair is one camera on a goof. We're just, what do you want to do? I want to put a remote camera in the drum kit. Well, we'll have to check with Daniel. Daniel was a photographer, so he jumped all over the opportunity.
He got it.
And right away he felt like somebody was paying attention to him, because all the front men, ladies, always get the pictures. The drummers don't. And we tried it, and it worked, and it was not so great, but we met 2 weeks later in Hartford after doing it at Jones Beach Theater, Nikon's Jones Beach Theater on Long Island. And I got him involved in camera placement, so we went to 2 cameras, and I don't know that I could ever make a better picture of a remote as he's rearing back pyro's going off in the background. Another reason why you don't want to be on stage.
Right.
You don't want to blow up with the pyro.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
All of a sudden your hair goes on fire and
yeah.
you're like, wait a second, I just wanted to take a photo.
And so amazingly, it was one shot, thinking that I'd never do this again, and it started to catch fire. The second time I worked with Daniel and a band called Shinedown opened for them, and the drummer during sound check turned back while I was mounting cameras and said, "What are you doing with that camera?" And I said, "I'm shooting remote photography." Now he's interested. Guess what? Like Daniel Adair, he loves shooting pictures too. That's why he was interested.
How funny.
Didn't you?
So we had a connection.
Didn't you
yeah.
shoot Tommy Lee when he did that crazy roller coaster drum set?
As things start to build and you start to get the work out there, again, you don't know what's going to happen. And I have no objective. There's no end to this. It's a personal project that I just love doing. You know, and thank God for NPS and loaner cameras and the ability to jump in, you know, late on a Friday and set up a remote kit on a Sunday or Saturday and get the equipment back in so the NPS members still benefit from it. You know, you take chances, and Motley Crue and Tommy Lee got wind of the fact that I was doing this, but what was different about Tommy Lee is he had a roller coaster kit that he played upside down. Now the challenge is, you're not just going to get that hero shot of him playing. That's great, that's a given, but how are you going to show the viewer that the picture is upside down?
Right.
So we had the safety cable cameras. They were playing before KISS, so we were told, you better get those cameras off the kit quick. So myself and my buddy Steve Heiner, who I know you know.
Yeah, Steve's a great guy.
You know, helped me with the remotes, and we ran 3 cameras, hooked them up, safetied them up, and when he went upside down, the beauty of it all was they lit the audience at the same time he was straight up.
What a
and playing
picture.
upside down.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
and it's got some legs, and 2 years later it was actually picked up by Drumhead magazine. Ironically, Daniel Adair talked to their editors. They were about to run an article, and they said, you got to see this picture of Tommy Lee. This is your cover shot, and that's what happened. It ran as a cover.
Amazing.
Wow.
So it's snowballing. I mean, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So is this something that you're putting online somewhere, or can anybody go to a website and see what you're doing?
I think
and
you need to
keep
put
up with the
together a book
process?
that you sell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, again, I let these things, they'll come as they come. I kind of let things happen naturally. What's meant to be is what's meant to be.
You're not going to
Through
change your
Facebook,
whole lifestyle for it at the time.
Instagram, Twitter, you know, Corrado Photo is my hashtag or my @ and on my website, CorradoPhotography.com. But again, my heart and job is with Nikon. This is sort of a side thing. It's a personal project. But eventually, who knows? There may
a
be
cool
a book.
one.
Yeah, it's different. It's trying to make pictures from a different angle and then just keep going and going and going.
But that's what I love, because that's what I've always tried to do. We've always tried to do with BeTerrific. It's just about doing something different.
I feel terrific. I feel like I'm being terrific.
You
when I do
should, but
this.
I mean, that's the point. You've watched my interviews for years. You know what I'm talking about. It's not just taking the same angle. It's about telling the story, getting behind the story. And that's really why we desperately want to follow you and do a behind the scenes to show what you're doing, how you're doing it, and maybe other people can learn from it.
No, I know that,
Yeah.
and that's all built on relationships. Again, I'm photographing Shinedown, you know, for the 5th time in Albany next month. And once these relationships happen, and you prove to them that you're not there to make them look bad, you're there. Your job as a photographer is to make the performance look great. Barry Kurtz, the drummer of Shinedown, said it at the very last show. Well, they bring photographers in all the time. Maybe I get one picture. I give him hundreds of pictures
And
from a
he's
shoot.
happy,
I mean, we could
yeah.
shoot thousands and thousands of pictures per camera.
See, that's how Straw and I hit it off, because Straw said to me,
Oh,
when I
it's
first-
Straw. Did you get that? Did you catch
I
that?
was like,
It's
who are
Straw.
you talking about?
Me and
He's
Straw.
talking about Daryl Strawberry, everyone.
Well, I'm bringing it full circle here. But
I've never heard anyone call
when
him
I
that.
first met him, he said to me, I'll let you do this interview, but I need to get a copy of it. He said, nobody ever sends me anything. You better
That's
get
right.
me a copy.
You
And-
assume they do.
Right.
True story. Jimmy Kimmel throws out the first pitch of the Mets game through a connection and friend Howard Stern, just because I think it's the right thing to do.
Oh, who's name dropping
Yeah.
now, buddy?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Mr. Stern.
Stern.
Howie.
Yeah, right,
Howie,
right.
is that how you
You're
say
like,
you show
word,
up at his
word.
you show up at his house? You're like, what's up, Howie?
Listen.
Did you say
I-
hop
I-
along, Howie? From
I
the
don't know
movie?
where he lives.
awesome.
But you know, you send the pictures along, they get moved along, and actually, Mr. Stern was an integral part in me connecting with Pat Monahan at Train. A very
Wow.
true story. I photographed Train several years back at Jones Beach Theater. And I shot a really nice picture of Pat Monahan, the lead, kicking into the camera, the Converse all over it. It was a 14mm lens, super wide.
Wow.
Fast forward 2 years later, just, hey, do you mind asking Pat if I can come to the show and try and do some stuff with the drummer? And within no more than an hour between his exchange to Pat, Pat's exchange to the studio tour manager, and then on to me with an email, what is it that you want to do? You know, Pat said the doors are open. It's about respect in this business.
Yes.
It's a lot to do
And
with
trust.
it. Trust.
Because that's something that we've learned even from back in the day, that, it's all about, you're making these connections, but you have to prove to them that it's not just, I'm not just trying to get in on you. You know what I mean?
You wanna
or
work
follow
for them.
the wave.
sorry.
We
Yeah.
want to do something together, and if you don't like it, we don't do it,
It's a collaboration. And then finding drummers that were as artistically talented visually as they were playing the drums,
Right.
It offered the opportunity to collaborate on ideas, give them photo tips. And like I said with Daniel, get them involved in the process and the placement. But I can't thank the drum techs enough. Without drum techs, I can't do this.
Sure.
They're helping me at the front end. They're helping me position the cameras. And those drum techs are leading me to other drummers that they may know from
That's
other
awesome.
bands that
That
they
might be
work with, which is
interested.
really great.
Now, I know Howard's an avid photographer. You must give him a lot of tips. What tips would you give young photographers out there?
Really just keep working at it, keep pushing. You accept no as an answer and be respectful about it. There are ways and times that photographers can be really rude. Well, you said no to me. How dare you say no to me? No is going to be the common answer you get until you ask it the right way or you find the right person. Now I've built a body of work. I kid you not, and this is not ego speaking. It just happens that, I asked. Now, I just photographed Shania Twain's drummer, this 18-year-old epic drummer,
Wow.
Elijah Wood, who worked as a house photographer for America's Got Talent. And I met him, we connected, he wanted me to do this with him. But now as I'm walking out the door, the drummer from Gavin DeGraw picks up this term.
I saw their
right?
concert
Drummer
this year.
Love. Yeah, it's a great show. He asks Elijah to ask me if he can have some drummer love.
Oh, wow.
That's when it becomes special.
Wow. Well, I'd love to, have you on again because I'd love to know more about how you got
Sure.
started in photography and all that stuff. I know you don't have time and we're crazy busy here, but I want to thank you for coming on for a few minutes, for
You're
sharing your
very
story
Yeah,
with the
what a
audience.
cool concept.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
I have never seen a bad photograph from this guy ever.
Wow.
He's unbelievable. Every time
Just
he touches
don't
I
the
show
really
the
wanna
bad
see
stuff.
them.
Best photographers don't show the bad stuff. Not that I'm putting my category in the best. I don't know what that is.
And let's go Mets.
World Series, baby.
Yes.
Out there. Where's this camera? New Yorkers, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. This is our shot.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go,
Mets.
I'm not doing that.
Oh.
I know.
Well,
Well,
all
you
right.
get to connect with Straw again. I'm
All
sure.
right.
Yeah.
You're amazing. That's the wonderful and amazing and very talented Mike Corrado.
Thank
Look
you,
for
guys.
his series, Drummer Love. We'll be back with a whole lot more on your live continuing official coverage of PhotoPlus Expo 2015 here at the Jacob K. Javits Center on BeTerrific. You're the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.